And we can now take you live to Los Angeles, where the jury in the trial of Michael Jackson's Dr. Conrad Murray is delivering its verdict.
All alternates are present. All regular members of the jury are present. To everybody, good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I am advised that the jury has reached a verdict. Who is the foreperson of the jury?
I am, Your Honor.
Juror number 3? Thank you, sir. Is that in fact correct?
Yes, it is.
The jury has reached a verdict.
Yes, we have.
Has the jury, through the foreperson, signed the appropriate verdict form?
Yes, sir.
Do you have all the verdict forms with you?
Yes.
Could you provide the verdict forms to Deputy Jones, who will then present them to me? Thank you. Court has reviewed the verdict form, and ladies and gentlemen, there was a typo in terms of the date of the alleged incident. It was written June 9th, 2009, and juror number 3, you've corrected that to June 25th. You put a 2-5 and you put some squigglies after that?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. I reviewed the verdict form, which now I will pass to Mrs. Benson, the court clerk. Mrs. Benson will publish the verdict.
Superior Court of California, Los Angeles County. The people of the state of California plaintiff versus Conrad Robert Murray, defendant. Case number SA 073164. Title of court and cause. We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Conrad Robert Murray, guilty of the crime of involuntary manslaughter in violation of Penal Code Section 192, subsection B. Alleged victim, Michael Joseph Jackson, alleged date of June 25th, 2009, as charged in count 1 of the information. This 7th day of November 2011, four-person juror ID number 145, seat number 3. Is this your verdict? Is this your individual and personal verdict? So say you one, so say you all.
Yes. All jurors indicating the affirmative. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you whether this is your individual and personal verdict. I'm going to be asking you individually if this is correct. If it is your individual and personal verdict, say yes. If it is not your individual and personal verdict, say no. Is this your individual and personal verdict, Juror 1?
Yes, sir.
Juror 2?
Yes, sir.
Juror 3?
Yes.
Juror 4?
Yes, sir.
Juror 5?
Yes.
Juror 6?
Yes.
Juror 7?
Yes.
Juror 8?
Yes.
Juror 9?
Yes.
Juror 10?
Yes, sir.
Juror number 11?
Yes.
Juror 12?
Yes, sir.
All jurors having indicated in the affirmative, the court clerk is directed to record the verdict. Do counsel waive further reading of the verdict as recorded? Mr. Walgren?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Chernoff?
Yes.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I now will read to you final instructions upon discharge of jurors. You now have completed your jury service on this case. On behalf of all of the employees of the Los Angeles Superior Court and the parties in this case, and
okay, that's the judge wrapping up events in that Los Angeles courtroom after Conrad Murray. There you see him very passively reacting to the news that he has been found guilty by that jury of involuntary manslaughter. Let's go straight back to our US correspondent, Lisa Miller. In Washington, Lisa, a verdict that will not come as a surprise to many people.
No, that's Judge Michael Pastor that we've been listening to there, taking the jury through their paces, but certainly a lot of the commentators over the last little while pointing towards a guilty verdict just due to the weakness of the defence case. And you're right, very passive response there from Dr. Conrad Murray, who could be facing jail time and the loss of his medical licence, but we haven't seen a lot of emotion from him over the last 6 weeks, Michael. There were a couple of days where where he seemed to shed a tear or two, but pretty much just sat there the whole time listening to all the evidence, the 49 witnesses, and the jury has decided in the end that those witnesses proved to them that he was negligent in the way that he supplied propofol, this very powerful sleeping anaesthetic, how he supplied that to Michael Jackson and was responsible for his death.
And we now await the sentencing. And for those just tuning in, run through the various options the judge has on that front.
Well, the maximum for involuntary manslaughter is 4 years in jail. It's almost definite that he will lose his medical licence as well. But as I was saying just before, there's a problem with overcrowding in Californian jails. They're trying to work out a way to decrease the numbers that are imprisoned. So there's been a suggestion already that he could in fact be sentenced to house arrest after a small amount of time in jail. So his actual jail time may not be terribly significant. Doesn't take away from the importance of this verdict for the Jackson family and their fans. They were really counting on this, but we'll get to hear a little bit probably from the jurors, perhaps as early as this afternoon in Los Angeles. Certainly they are free to speak and do media interviews, write books, you name it, appear on talk shows, and we'll get a sense of the deliberations and what went on over the 9 hours where they talked about this case together and came up with this verdict. And
finally, Lisa Miller, it is hard to underestimate just how enthralled Americans have been in the conduct of this case and how much Michael Jackson, beyond the grave, still has a very firm grip on the American psyche. And not just Michael Jackson, but his children. There's a great fascination with Paris and Prince and Blanket. And in fact, the prosecution made much of the fact that Conrad Murray, he accused Conrad Murray of robbing these children of their father, that whatever you think of Michael Jackson, he was these children's father, and they considered that a pretty strong way for the prosecution to end their case. It certainly dominated the news headlines here over the last 6 weeks, and now we see the end of it almost. We'll wait to see what the sentencing is. Lisa Miller in Washington, thank you very much.